I ask you to still your hands and your tongue first, because when the mind is swept up by anger, words easily turn into arrows. Sit quietly for a moment. Breathe in and know you are breathing in. Breathe out and know you are breathing out. Count 3 breaths. Place a hand on your chest and name what is rising. Worry, fear, anger, shame, helplessness. When you name it rightly, the fire softens, like a weary porter setting down the load to breathe. Then look at one another through the lens of cause and effect. No event falls from the sky without a cause. Storms arise from the seeds we have watered, in our hearts and in the habits of the home. Do not rush to judge. Ask gently, what is hurting in your heart? Where am I stuck in mine? Such questions shift the mind from attacking to understanding. As the mind steadies, you will see the loops that feed suffering. A harsh scolding, a slamming door, a skipped meal, a cold text, a contemptuous glance. Watered day after day, these seeds ripen into new karma. Knowing this, stop the hands, stop the mouth, stop the mind first. Before you act, pass through 3 gates. 1. Is this thought wholesome or just an impulse to win? 2. Will the words I'm about to say be of benefit? Will they help the listener feel steadier? 3. Is the timing ripe, or do I need to wait for the heart to cool? If any gate is unclear, pause. Drink a warm glass of water, step out to the porch and take 5 rounds of breath, then return with a lower voice and a slower cadence. Write 3 lines on paper. I am feeling. What I need is. One small thing I can do right now is. Make a time to speak, not to win, but to understand. When the mind is calm, words are kind. When words are kind, actions become right. Today, 1 right action and 1 gentle word are enough to turn the boat. Be grateful for the moments you can still sit together. Walk slowly, like one who tends a lamp. I remind you that a mother's and father's kindness is almost impossible to repay. Knowing this, speak fewer words of blame and grow more reverence. Treat each day together as a blessing to be guarded. But gratitude alone is not enough. We must reset the household rhythm according to the duties on both sides so that love moves in the right direction. I teach the 5-5 framework. Children have 5 duties toward their parents. Support them once you are grown. Fulfill the responsibilities you are given. Uphold the family's good name. Safeguard shared property. And when your parents pass, attend to the funeral properly and continue their good deeds. Parents have 5 duties toward their children. Prevent them from doing what is harmful. Encourage them to do what is wholesome. Provide education and a trade so they can stand on their own. Help them form good friendships and establish a family at the right time. And transfer property at the proper time with transparency. Turn this framework into a living chart everyone can see. On Saturday evening, hold a 10-minute family check-in. Each side chooses 1 item to practice for the week, writing down the exact action, who's responsible, and when you'll review it. For example, the child preserves the family's good name by telling the truth to teachers. The father prevents harm by locking apps that lead to excess and opening a channel for conversation. The next week, don't compete for credit. Simply report what was done and where you got stuck.
Do not confuse filial piety with blind obedience. Filial piety is respect and cooperation grounded in wisdom. If parents get heated, the child may step away for 5 minutes to breathe together, then return and speak with right speech. If the child is lazy or lies, the parents set boundaries and apply the agreed consequences, yet keep a gentle tone. When each person keeps to their part, the home steadies like a boat with 2 oars, able to move forward even on choppy water. Hang the 5-5 chart where it's easy to see. Sign your names beneath it as a shared pledge. And each day sign again with 1 right action and 1 kind word.
I speak of the 4 ways a child comes to parents: to repay kindness, to repay resentment, to repay a debt, or to collect a debt. Do not use these names to brand the child. Use them to examine your own heart and choose the right response. If it is to repay kindness, the child is gentle, shares the work of the home, and knows gratitude. Do not grow careless in fair weather. Keep nurturing these wholesome seeds. Let the child serve, learn gratitude, and learn self-reliance, so merit does not thin out. If it is to repay resentment, the signs are frequent clashes and harsh words. I teach you to stop counterattacking. Take 3 mindful breaths before each sentence, then ask 3 short questions. What is hurting you today? What could we do differently? What small right thing are you ready to do tomorrow? Parents confess their own part, set clear boundaries, and follow up with actions rather than threats. If it is to repay a debt, the child shoulders tasks early. Be grateful without exploiting it. Assign age-appropriate work. Teach life skills. Grant the right to rest when tired, and acknowledge small efforts. When an old debt is repaid in peace, the tie loosens, and affection grows sturdier. If it is to collect a debt, parents are drained in money, emotion, or health. I teach principled compassion. Stop enabling harmful habits. Replace blind support with agreed-upon commitments. Connect therapy, training, and honest work. Set time frames you will actually review. If a line is crossed, the agreed consequences apply. No one is shamed or insulted. These 4 conditions are not a life sentence. Conditions change when hearts change, and hearts change when you plant wise deeds day by day. Each quarter, review as a family. What needs tightening? What can be loosened? Do not chase a perfect answer. Build a steady cadence. Let compassion be like water and discipline like the banks. With banks, the water does not flood. With water, the banks do not crack. When clarity guides effort, old resentments loosen. I teach you about boundaries joined with compassion and right speech. To love is not to indulge. To be strict is not to be harsh. A boundary is a clear line that keeps love from turning into indulgence, and discipline from turning into violence. Set boundaries as you would plant a fence around a garden, to let young trees grow in peace, not to imprison them. First, write together a living agreement. What is allowed and not allowed, how to make amends, who is responsible, and when you will review it. Handwritten words give the promise weight. Post it where everyone sees it. Sign beneath it to remember that this home chooses the light. Right speech is the breath of a boundary. Speak in a way that is true, timely, and beneficial. Before speaking, ask 3 things. Is this statement true? Is now the right time to say it? Is my purpose to heal? If any answer is unclear, keep still, like one who shields a lamp in the wind. When a reminder is needed, use short sentences and avoid labels. Address the behavior, not the person. Replace "you're a bad child" with "this action has damaged trust." Compassion has principles. Because you love your child, you do not back down before harmful habits. Consequences should be known in advance and applied like solid ground, not like a whip. When a line is crossed, carry out the agreed repair. When growth appears, reward it with meaningful responsibility, not just money. Praise effort early. Don't wait for perfection. Correct mistakes early. Don't wait for the storm to land. Parents lead by example. Keep appointments, apologize when you slip, and set your own precepts for your child to follow. Right boundaries settle the heart. The child knows the safe edge for testing strength, and parents know when to pause and when to step forward. Right compassion clarifies the mind. Speak less, but hit the mark. Do less, but do it steadily. So trust in the home grows like rice in the field.
I give you a 7-day path. Practiced steadily, the karmic current in the home will change like rains sinking into the earth, slow but sure. Day 1. Establish a quiet hour of 5 to 10 minutes at the same time each day. Turn off screens, sit upright, take 3 breaths, relax, let the mind cool, and only then speak. Day 2. Open a family merit journal. Each person writes 3 right things the other did and reads them aloud before the meal. Train yourselves to see what is right before correcting what is wrong. Day 3. Draft a 3-rule code. 1 rule for speech, 1 for time, and 1 for money. Note the consequences and the repair actions. Post it where everyone can see. Day 4. Do 1 small shared act of merit. Sweep the yard, pick up litter, visit someone unwell, contribute to a book fund. When finished, stand in a circle, take 3 breaths, and dedicate the merit to one another. Day 5. Hold a 10-minute dialogue using right speech. Ask 3 questions. What are you suffering from today? What could we do differently? What small right thing will you do tomorrow? Record the answers in the journal. Day 6. Practice making amends. If someone missed an appointment, they clean the kitchen. If someone spoke harshly, they write a letter of apology. If someone spent wastefully, they repay through useful work. No blame, just do what is right. Day 7. Review and give thanks. Each person shares 1 thing learned, 1 thing to drop, and 1 thing to nurture. Light a small candle, set the intention for the new week, and sign beneath the household code. Keep the same time each day, ring a bell, and keep up precepts pebbled jar. Each time you keep a commitment, drop in 1 pebble. If you slip, confess it, reset the intention, and resume that very day. After 7 days, repeat 3 more rounds to make a month. At month end, tighten what is loose, loosen what is too tight, and add acts of merit that fit your strength. Rhythm is the teacher. When 1 right seed is planted each day, the wind shifts and your child's face warms like dawn after a long night. I will tell you about a case. A mother named Len had grown gaunt from sleepless nights. Her son Min had dropped out of school, spent recklessly, lied, and slammed doors in the middle of the night. I did not rebuke them at once. I asked mother and son to sit quietly for 5 minutes, place a hand on the chest, and name their suffering accurately. I suggested they write a 3-point living agreement and post it in the kitchen. Curfew, use of money, and rules for speech. On the first day, Min slipped, came home late, and spoke harshly. Len was ready to explode, but remembering the teaching, she took 3 breaths and said one short sentence. "This action hurts me. You will accept the consequence as we agreed." Min cleaned the yard and repaid the money he had taken by working at a charity kitchen. I reminded them to praise small efforts early. At weekend, the family read the merit journal, 3 right things about one another. Min's eyes looked less clouded. In the second week, Len herself spoke harshly. She wrote an apology letter, dropped it into the jar of kind words, and took a kitchen shift in her son's place. Seeing his mother also reforming, Min took another step, turning off his phone before the quiet hour and taking her to visit his grandmother. For 2 months, the house kept the quiet hour, the merit journal, 1 act of charity each week, and a 10-minute dialogue. The rules were tightened around money and loosened around exercise time. In the 3rd month, Min asked to work part-time at a repair shop. Len enrolled in a mindful parenting class. When Min relapsed once, instead of collapsing, the 2 calmly opened the journal, reviewed their commitments, and adjusted the consequences appropriately. I said, "Karma changes when the heart changes. The heart changes when actions change. Actions change when wisdom and compassion move together." The day Min brought home a bunch of wildflowers and said, "Mom, thank you for not giving up on me," I saw their smiles return. Tend it in this way. Review each month, tighten and loosen where needed, and keep going steadily. Peace will have time to grow in the home. That is the sign of karma turning.